Yo, what's up, Blackish fam? I hope all is well in your corner of the world. We're going to continue going through Marlon Craft's catalog. I've been really excited about the work that he's put out into the world. It's intelligent, but it also has a political spin. His freestyles have been on point. And we're going to go shout out to the comment section who really put me on Marlon Craft and has been guiding me as to what to check out. Someone that's been real interactive with the station and said, yo, can you check out Halal? And obviously, I know about halal meats. I'm not Muslim. I don't really consider myself religious, but I think that's an interesting name for a song. Let's get into it. Let's check it out together. Of course, I got the lyrics here for you guys.
I'm supposed to be the franchise artist, but we in here talking about rapping, man. Rapping. Me. Rapping? Shit. Okay then.
I gotta put my thinking cap on. My bad.
Oh my God. A lot of y'all just want some shit to critique, but your ass can't listen in the midst of a speech. As long as the cool table still got limited seats, and you try and argue your way and you'll be sitting with sheep. Yeah.
Yo, listen to what he said there, right? He said a lot of y'all just want some shit to critique. Now, one would argue that you're not really interested in woke conscious music, right? But you're listening so you can examine their viewpoints and then critique why he's so liberal left, right? Or why someone's so right wing or whatnot. I said your ass can't listen in the midst of a speech, right? Are your ears open, right? Are you actually hearing? Are you interpreting, right? It comes down to reading comprehension, right? What are you taking? What are you extracting from what you're reading, or in this case, what you're listening to? He said as long as a cool table only has a limited number of seats, and you try to argue your way in, you'll still be sitting with sheep, right? He's saying, yo, the cool table, think about a lunchroom table like your high school or grammar school, right? Yo, let's run it back.
As long as the cool table still got limited seats, and you try and argue your way and you'll be sitting with sheep. Yeah. We so quick to just speak, addicted to peaks, but life lived in the middle is sweet.
He said we're addicted to peaks, right? The peak is at the very top, like the peak of Mount Everest, right? At the very top of something. But one would argue that he could also be referring to like your highlight reel, right? The peak, these high points in your life you put on social media, but then other people seem to think your life is only this series of high points, right? They miss all the low and mid points that kind of make you and get you there, right? But he said, yo, life lived in the middle is sweet, right? Because one would argue that lows or highs are very destructive because it's hard to get out of them or maintain them. But when you're consistent, it's all about being consistent, right? Even as an artist.
Yeah, we so quick to just speak, addicted to peaks, but life lived in the middle is sweet. Chasing highs, avoiding lows, never time to even learn. Usually ones getting loud and don't even believe their words.
Usually the ones getting loud don't even believe their words. Now think about that, right? I always use this saying. I say, yo, the loudest person in the room is normally the most insecure, right? They feel like they have to do something. They have to keep telling jokes for people to like them, right? You ever get one of those people? I have a friend that he's done some comedy here and there, but he's just nonstop with the jokes, and they're like borderline funny. But it's just like, bro, you're annoying as shit, bro. Shut the fuck up already, right? And we all know a person like that, and if you don't, motherfucker, it's probably you, right? Run it back.
The peaks, but life lived in the middle is sweet. Chasing highs, avoiding lows, never time to even learn. Usually ones getting loud and don't even believe their word. I'm from New York, we was taught not to feed the birds, but ain't a hungry pigeon in sight these days. Politely, hey, the shit we giving hype be fake. I wonder a lot of days what good is progression if it's getting loud and don't even believe their words. I'm from New York, we was taught not to feed the birds, but ain't a hungry pigeon in sight these days. But
when you think of someone that's a pigeon, right, they're normally like the lowest. They're like flying rats, right? Flying mice. He's saying like there's no hungry pigeon in sight these days because there's a lot of garbage, right? There's a lot of garbage in the streets. There's a lot of garbage, like literally. So the pigeons aren't even hungry, right? They're like little rats, like roaches that fly. That's saying so much by saying so little, right? And that's why this is a 5 minute or 4 minute video, but it's a 25-minute breakdown because he's saying things like that that could easily go over your head. So why aren't the pigeons hungry, you should say, right? That's what most reactors should be saying. What does this mean? It means there's so much garbage out here in these streets that pigeons and rats are getting fat, right? They're thickums.
Not to feed the birds, but ain't no hungry pigeon in sight these days. Politely, hey, this shit we giving hype be fake. I wonder a lot of days what good is progression if it's all built on lies.
Wow.
Lost our ability to evaluate, need to recalibrate. I read your little tweets, I think your passion fake. Everyone want to eat, but it's rare that they want to have the stakes that I have embraced, man.
Yo, he said, I think you're past your fate. Everyone wants to eat, but it's red. If they won't have the steaks that I've embraced. So it's the plate. He's playing on a raw steak, right? Food. But it's also talking about what you have at stake, right? Or like planting steaks, but also like what's at stake. Yo, that's just excellent wordplay. I love what he said in the beginning. And again, this doesn't need an interpretation from a definition from an intelligence point of view. But he's saying, I wonder a lot of days what good is progression, right? Or change, if you would, if it's all built on lies. Like, who are we lying to? Are we lying to ourselves? He said, we lost our ability to evaluate. We need to recalibrate our rigid little tweets, right? We've become so focused on the small stuff, the micro level stuff, that we're not focusing out and looking at the macro level or the bigger picture, which I believe he highlighted micro and macro economics in another one of his songs that we went over.
They want to have the stakes that I have embraced, man. Have a play. Or keep acting like this shit don't matter. Acting like we ain't the blueprint for the kids going after. Acting like we ain't the ones who made it cool to not know and not try and not grow as long as you got hoes.
Yo, that's so real. Listen to what he said. We keep acting like this shit don't matter, right? How many of you have friends? Like, I'm a student of politics, right? I go to Northern Illinois University. I study political science with an emphasis in public law. I like to study judicial politics and constitutional law because I like to know my rights, right? My freedoms. I don't plan on practicing law, but I help to spread knowledge so people can understand the law. And I hate talking to people about what they voted for or how they feel about a certain thing. And it's like, yo, my friends, not my college or fraternity friends, my inner city, my kind of hood friends that I love for a different reason, right? My boys. And they're like, yo, you talk about something intellectual and they're like, they don't, man, they already know who won the election, bro. Come on, man. Everybody know that shit's rigged. And it's like, bro, that's so easy to say. But we don't get change if we don't push the bar. Right, look at what happened when we elected Obama, right? Kids and youth and intellectuals came together. It matters, right? Now, the president is here for a 4-year term or 8-year term, but the people that he put in positions of power can spend decades there, right? If he's putting these judges in place, I'm not even getting the Supreme Court justices. I'm talking about your typical judge. Right? And he's putting judges in place that think a certain type of way about the world around them. That impacts you when you're charged with a crime, how they look at you, right? The people in power that are running certain states, right? Who's he put into place, right? Who's the next Supreme Court justice? What do they stand for? Are they going to take your opinion into consideration? And it's like, yo, all this stuff matters. These smaller we should make something like your local office matters, right? I hate playing on Black Lives Matters and all that, but there's so many things that matter that are, Black Lives Matter is the arrow, right? You throw the arrow right at the main dot, but there's all these other circles around that, and if we're not making changes there, we're not going to get to the changes on the inside. Now, so he said, yo, like acting like we're not the blueprint for the kids that are coming after us, right? When we talk about climate change, when we talk about hate groups and our approach to equality in the world, like, yo, this is so important for our kids and our grandkids and the future of the entire earth. How are we acting like this isn't a big deal, right? He said, yo, we're acting like we're not the ones that made it cool, right, tonight. Acting like knowing, like not trying to grow as long as you got hoes is cool. Like, why can't we do a little bit of both, right? Why is it that it's not cool to be intelligent? It's extremely cool to be intelligent and understand why things happen the way they do, right? And it'll make you a better person because of it. You have more to give to the world. You're a better spouse. You're a better educator. You're a better teacher, right? If you just, you can still smash some hoes, bro, right? I'm a fraternity guy. I'm a gentleman of Omega Delta Beta chapter, NIU number 68, right? I've had my day, right? I made a few moves, and I used to call myself, well, let's not get into that, but I've smashed a few hoes. I got a few notches under the belt. That doesn't mean I don't like reading, right? That doesn't mean that it's still not. You can be cool and still do things that are intellectual, bro. We got to stop with that, making it one thing or the other. The bully is cool, but he's stupid, and the nerd is intellectual, and they're smart. That's just not the way the world works.
Not try and not grow as long as you got hoes, right? I feel responsibility to declare you flopping, and I do my duty free like airport shopping.
Duty free, right? That's like we shop at an airport, and because it's stuff that's basically not taxed the same way. It's called duty free. You get it on a lot of military bases as well.
And I do my duty free like airport shopping. Won't take the culture name in vain. You a junkie dudes just won't be liked, even if that means they won't be wrong. Claim they cold, but
there's a play on words there, right? He said vein, but he's talking about in your veins, like you're a heroin junkie, right? But when you do something in vain,
and not grow as long as you got hoes, right? I feel responsibility to declare you flopping, and I do my duty free like airport shopping. Won't take the culture name in vain. You a junkie dudes just won't be liked, even if that means they won't be wrong. Claim they cold, but that's fear. They present the same shivering, covering up, unrelenting game.
I gotta run that back. You hear what he said, right? He said dudes just want to be liked, even though that means that they're gonna be wrong, right? They might bully you in class and talk about some physical deformity or something. They know it's wrong, but they want to be liked by others, right? So they're going to use you as a stepping stone. And, one could argue that they do that in corporations, right? By blaming other people, they just blame it downwards. There's a hierarchy, right? The people do that throughout life. They just say things that for others. People are clapping for the wrong reasons. But they want support. So if you don't want to be bullied, what do? You bully someone else, right? In prison, you don't want to be someone's bitch. So what do? You take someone's manhood, get at those cheeks, right? It's a cycle, right?
If that means they won't be wrong, claim they cold, but that's fear. They present the same shivering, covering up, unrelenting games. Yeah, they want the fame, they don't want the pain. They want to be Marlon, they don't want work at the other name.
His second name, right? His last name is Craft. They don't want to perfect their craft, but they all want to be him, right? But they don't want to put in that work.
Want to be Marlon, they don't want work at the other name. Mission to avoid a cubicle, turn to a caller.
To avoid a cubicle. Right, a cubicle is what you work in an office setting. It's a small little example of your office, but it's not an office. It's your little world when you work for a corporation. They use it for to bounce noise off. It kind of, if you're in a customer service center or so, prevents you from hearing everyone else. It gives you some protection there, but it's also an area for you to pin up all your stuff and your calendar and kind of make it your own. And he said that turns into a collar. Because they own you, right? That's just deep. These corporations own you because nowadays they look at your social media and they try to control your posts and what you post about and other things. So, and I don't think, let's run that back a little bit.
I won't work at the other name. Mission to avoid a cubicle, turn to a caller. I ball and I'm musical. Esperanza Spartan.
Esmeralda Spalding, she's an artist. She's a musician from Portland, I believe. But the interesting thing about her is she's kind of mixed race. She's kind of my complexion. You know, when you start mixing black with white and Spanish and all these other things, you get these yellowish browns. And then depending on how much Native American or how much white, right, you get color. But this is still someone, I believe she goes by Afro-Latino. But she was born just a few years after me. I was born in 82. I'm 39. She was born in 84, so that means she would be 37 today, right? 37, 38, depending on her birthday. But she had an African American father, right? A black dude father, but her mother was mixed. Her mother was like Native American and some sort of Spanish. And then she lived in an area that was known for its gang violence, so she still got that kind of inner city. But he's playing on that because of what she does musically, right? She's a jazz bassist. She's a singer, songwriter, composer. It's just a play on words with him saying a bar, turn to a collar. He said a bar, then a musical. It's just kind of playing with that, but you have to understand who Esperanza Spalding is to understand the reference, and that's exactly why we break this stuff down.
I won't work at the other name. Mission to avoid the cubicle, turn to a caller. I ball and I'm musical. Esperanza Spalding. Yeah. I'm the best out, debate your mother. She probably saw me on MSNBC and loved it. I'd rather have these dialogues within the culture. But this payola these days is undercover. I guess it ain't payola when I loved it. I'd rather have these dialogues within the culture. But this payola these days is undercover. I guess it ain't payola when this shit's the whole structure. Like the same thing on the table is somehow better than under. I shout shit they ain't got the balls to utter. Yeah, they want the fame, they don't want the pain. They want to be Marlon, they don't want work in the other name. Mission to avoid the cubicle, turn to a caller. I ball and I'm musical, Esperanza Spalding. Yeah, I'm the best out, debate your mother. She probably saw me on MSNBC and loved it. I'd rather have these dialogues within the culture. But this payola these days is undercover. I guess it ain't payola when this shit's the whole structure.
Payola is like pay for play, right? It's bribing someone or using their influence to do something, and you're going to reward them a different way, right? So like you're going to, what would that be, like a radio DJ and having them play your music, and how are you going to incentivize him, right? So it's most people, they don't call it payola, but well, where I'm from anyway, it's normally referred to as pay for play.
Within the culture, but this payola these days is undercover. I guess it ain't payola when this shit's the whole structure. Like the same thing on the table is somehow better than under. I shout shit they ain't got the balls to utter. Appalled, disgusted how I live. I don't know how you ain't. The money's there, but the value ain't. I run circles, random dudes till I'm out of shape. Yeah.
You know, what did he say? The money stays up, but your value's not up, right? He said, I run circles around you, dude, till I'm out of shapes. The shape of wordplay is a circle, but in shape, you would argue you're with if you keep running circles around dudes, right? He said, I run circles around you, dude, till I'm out of shapes. So maybe like I keep running circles around dudes and I'm out of circles. I'm out of shapes because, no one can stand and battle me or defend themselves against this intellectual argument. One of my other quotes, right? I always say, don't raise your voice, improve your argument, bro.
You ain't. The money's there, but the value ain't. I run circles, random dudes till I'm out of shape. Yeah. So fuck you and your little pouty face. No one ever cared about mine. I had to prove I wasn't pussy every day, my whole life. If they look at me like a trust fund baby one more time, I might say.
A trust fund baby is someone that comes from money. When you come from money, you put money, you have generational wealth, right? You're passing down wealth to the next generation. You normally would do that in the form of a trust fund. So you give them an allowance, right? I'll give you $4,000 a month until you're 21, and then you can get your, 3 million, 5 million that I left you. But for then, you have to live with this $4,000 a month. Well, sometimes people look at those individuals differently because it's like, you don't have to fight for anything. You don't have to work. It's not, you and I aren't on the same, we're not in the same field because, if I don't work, I don't eat, right? If I can't take care of my family, but you always got $4,000 in, and a trust fund could be any amount. It might be $10,000 a month, right? It's like a professional allowance for rich people.
I had to prove I wasn't pussy every day my whole life. If they look at me like a trust fund baby one more time, I might slap the shit out your face. Open hands so you understand you ain't worth the risk of a broken hand. Only spend time with my people, really know the plan. You just finished lying cause all you know is land.
Yo, is that a play on lamping? Because lamping, back in the day, that's when you lit to the motherfucker in the living room, just chilling. You're like a lamp, right? So, like what Kanye uses it in his song. Now we're just lamping. Now we're just chilling. What does he say? It's getting late, mommy. It's getting late. I met the girl in the dance. She said, you mean Talib? Lyrics stick to your rib? I mean, that's my favorite CD that I play in my crib. I mean, you don't really know him. Why is he lying, right? That's, your motherfucking hands, get him high, right? Kanye West with, what's that, Talib Kweli and Common, I think. Yo, sick.
Finish lying, cause all you know is land. That ain't halal, brother. That ain't halal, brother. Talking to the God.
Yo, this cat brought it, man. I just want to run it back one more time, make sure we didn't miss it.
Cause all you know is land. That ain't halal, brother. That ain't halal, brother. Talking to the God.
Yo, man, that's just, he says so much there. And I wanted to make sure that I got lamping right because, you know, some people say, you know, another meaning of it is a lamp attracts people, right? And like it attracts moths, right? But the way I look at it, my interpretation of lamping or lamp is just being lit as fuck in the living room, just chilling. And I thought it was kind of funny that it never took off, right? I thought lamping would be something like lit, right? Or something like that. But yo, if you're a fan of good music, now this is that altar call, right? We're trying to build this channel. We're right at about 400 subscribers and growing fast. But yo, if you're a fan of good music and intellectual breakdowns, then get in on the ground floor, right? Help us grow this channel. We explore good music like Marlon Craft and break down these bars, and we get surgical with it. I don't really, not too concerned with time. I really just want to understand exactly everything that he's saying. And I think with someone that's as talented and as lyrical as Marlon Craft, he deserves that, right? To us to really understand the music as he put it out and do our best to interpret it. So, yo, if you're a fan, like the video, but subscribe to the channel and check out the playlist because we're starting to dive into his catalog as well.